lineup of drum mics. And I was like, man, if they're so good at everything else, they're
Right.
probably going to have decent mics too, right? And like, look, I'm adding real drums with the thought of like, I will most likely add a layer in a sample of a snare, a
Right.
sample of a kick. Like, they're not going to be, these pristine
Right.
drum recordings. They're kind of just going to be more of like
You want
color
the
and
you
vibe.
want the feel and you want like the room of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And so they have been getting the job done incredibly well for me so far. But like I don't really know how to do live drums yet. Like I'm really
Right.
learning in real time. I will say this 47, putting it on Omni and making that kind of like my mono room mic,
Yeah.
game changer. If you mute it or unmute it, like it makes it feel so much better
Dude, I
when you
have a
have it
I have a
on.
buddy that does all my drums. His name is Ben Barter.
Okay, so
Fantastic
I can help
drummer.
it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. He's
Um,
done.
yeah.
He's. I think he's worked with like Noah and stuff, or maybe I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, maybe
Maybe
that's
don't quote me on that. But Ben's amazing. And to speak of the 47, he has a 47 as his like kick out mic,
wow.
and it's like it always sounds really really good. I mean, he has a bunch of other mics. Like he's like a drummer. Like he like does mostly like drumming. So it's like that's like where he's put most of his resources. But sounds really 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 good. And
I definitely I want to have somebody who like knows what they're doing come over here and like help me dial it in
right.
so that I can kind of like figure out how to get it to sound the way I want it to sound.
Yeah. The thing is, too, it's like I found some of my favorite drums when I talk to people. They're like, yeah, I don't know. It's like a pretty simple drum thing. And it's like, it's so much about the feel. And
So
then,
that's cool.
this is also for producers who like are also just starting to do drums. It's like phase alignment is almost the most important thing.
Yeah, see, this is news to me because
Uh,
I'm
y- you go buy Auto Align and you thank me later. It's a plugin
okay.
that it does it for you. Where like it'll like, I mean, you'll figure it out. You're a smart guy, but it's like a plugin that's basically it's made for phase issues. It was made for drums, but you can use it on like really anything. So it basically like
Okay.
it listens to the. You know what? I'll teach you so the listeners can maybe learn
Yeah,
this too. I think it's
please. I
really
need
really
this. I
good.
need to learn.
So there's a specific way to do it, and this is the best way I found to do it. And it's not my way. I think his name is Craig Brower. It's a mixer guy I learned it
Yeah.
from. So you put Auto Align on pretty much all the drum tracks, and how it works
Individually or
is
like the bus?
no, individually, because they all kind of talk to each other. So
Got
basically
it.
what you do is like you put it on all of them and you start with your overheads, right? And with your overheads, you make sure they're aligned to one another, right?
Okay.
So make sure left is aligned to right if it's a stereo. And then you take one of them, it doesn't really matter, but usually the one, we'll say left. Then that's like your overhead is like kind of the one that your kicks, your snares, and your toms are all going to look at for phase. So basically, it's like you send the overhead left to all those things, and then the plugin will listen to the overheads, listen to like let's say the kick, and make sure they're in phase and they're like in time. So it'll actually like delay things by milliseconds to make sure it's like perfectly aligned, and
Ah,
also like listen if like the phase needs to be flipped.
so you're saying you have to go in and manually send all these things to each track?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
All
And
right.
like you can just like have that set up in your template, right? Where it's like it's just good
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
good to
like
do once.
and basically you click a button and it listens to it for like 10 seconds or 10, 15 seconds, and then it just like you'll see and then you'll hear it be like, oh, there's my kicks low mid. It suddenly appears.
This is probably going to change my game.
Yeah, it just makes it like really easy where it's like a lot of drummers don't end up using it because like, which you could do too, where it's like they're using math, where it's like, okay, these drums are always like this. I know how far it is, but I get drums from so many different sources that like I end up using it all the time and it's like so useful. Like I can't express how useful it is. Great
I
plugin.
cannot wait to look at that because like
Yeah.
they're sounding cool right now,
Yeah.
but they're like incredibly roomy.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I can't have that on every song.
Right.
But
But yeah, as I'm telling you, check out Auto Line. It's like a time saver in my opinion.
Okay.